Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode. I realized that this is probably not a podcast and it's just a sit down video with a podcast format, but I shall continue saying welcome back to another episode of a Not So Cute podcast. And I'm your host, Tiny-Winnet, and today we're going to be talking about the unfiltered truth about healing. I think healing has become a buzzword online in our communities where we're talking about healing, not just like physical, like getting better and getting our health to 100%, but now we're talking about um when I was talking about health, I mean our physical health, but now we're talking about our emotional health as well as our mental health, which is fantastic, right? But there are certain truths about healing that people do not want to talk about. We're going to talk about them today because we are hot girls. Hello. So I'm going to start this video by debunking some myths about healing. As per usual, I've got my notes with me, so I'm going to be like looking at them and we can discuss them further. The first thing is healing is not always positive. People make it seem like healing is all roses and flowers and we can have a little flower crown and we can claim healing and we can do all these things. But the thing is, it's not always positive, right? Because you have to rehash the past. You have to rehash the trauma that you're healing from. You have to bring it back to the surface so that you can start looking at it and analyzing it. Or it's not you who's doing it, or a professional is doing it for you, right? When the therapist is asking you to tell them what happened to you, right? Or you are looking at, you didn't even know that you had trauma, but the more you talk about it, the more you share, you start to realize, oh, I've got trauma. It's not always positive, right? The second myth about healing is the statement or a quote that's popular that time heals all wounds. It's not always true. It takes work, it takes participation, it takes you engaging in the process of healing, right? Beyonce in her song Time Heals Everything, I don't necessarily agree with that because sometimes you might wait and wait for a long time, but the truth is you are not engaged in healing. You are not, you can spend years, right? Running away from your trauma of being abandoned as a child. Maybe you grew up in a single parent household. I don't know what your story is, but you were expecting that with time I'm fine. And then you find yourself in relationships or in situations where you are not able to fully open up because of that trauma of abandonment, right? It's something that happens. Time doesn't always heal everything, but you have to engage in that process of healing. You have to be active, right? It takes time. And you don't know how long it's going to take. Sometimes it takes a year, sometimes it takes more than. You just have to be willing to put in that work. The third myth is it's not linear. People think that I'm healing, it's going to be a linear trajectory. I'm good. So it's not going to be like that. I'm sorry, but it's not going to be like that. It's, you're going to take two steps forward and you're going to think about something, or you're going to have a trigger moment. You're going to get triggered. Something is going to happen. You're going to respond in a way you're not so proud of. You're going back 10 steps back. Imagine you've been working so hard all this while, and all of a sudden, all that work doesn't mean is because, well, you haven't healed or you're still in that process of healing, right? The fourth myth is healing doesn't mean forgetting or erasing the pain. The pain is still going to be there. The memories of what happened is still going to be there. It's not hypnosis. Healing is not what amnesia. No, you are learning to adapt how to live with those memories, how to live with your trauma, how to live with the hurt that you're experiencing. You are learning to live life and fully engage in your life with all the baggage that you've got. That's what healing is, right? And then now we're going to talk about the process of healing, how to heal, why we're healing, etc., etc. So healing can be lonely. Like people around you may not understand that you are in the middle of going through something, or that you need time to process, or people don't understand your triggers. It can be such a lonely journey. But be sure to engage with your tribe, even if they don't fully understand. Just let them know where you're at. Let your friends know, let your family know. If they're the cause of your trauma, then okay, maybe that's not like the best place. I wouldn't suggest. A lot of people have been talking about using ChatGPT as your therapist. I mean, yeah, you can do that, but maybe just go to an actual therapist, because ChatGPT says, come on. The second one is it might involve reopening old wounds. Like we said, time heals everything. Your wounds with time, right? You can have a scab and eventually the wound will disappear. But for you to heal, you kind of have to dig up that past. It's a wound and it requires you to dig it up, and it requires you to open it so that you now allow the treatment to now soak in and for fresh air to be there so that it dries up properly, right? You might still have the scar, but at least now you don't have to worry about infections in the future. That's what healing is like. The next thing is it requires patience, and sometimes the progress feels invisible. It's such a small dent that you make, or sometimes you feel like you haven't moved, but you have. The fact that you made it to your therapy session today, congratulations, sis. You've really done amazing. The fact that you have talked to the people who hurt you in the past, and you have made the decision to forgive them, that is progress. I know it seems so small because you're still hurt, you're still maybe being triggered, but you are making such great progress, and I am proud of you. The next thing is it's not just self care Sundays, it is shadow work, therapy, boundary work. It's a lot of things. People make healing or like self care this ritual that you find online, right? Like you put on your face mask, and that's all nice. I'm not saying don't do those things. Please continue to do those things, because those things, they matter. But I'm saying that healing requires getting into the nitty gritty, all those bad or dark parts of yourself. You have to bring them to light, because that's the only way you're going to heal. So one thing about healing is also celebrate your wins. You made it to your therapy session today. Congratulations. You decided to heal. You just made the decision, I want to be better. Congratulations. And I really hope that you know that you are doing such an amazing thing by just saying, I want this. This is what I want. And it's not easy for you to make that decision. I know it's not easy. It takes a lot of courage and gut to be able to do that. So I'm happy for you that you managed to do it. And then I want to leave you with two quotes that I found online on Pinterest, and they were just so great. The first one is part of healing is accepting that you will never fully understand it. I don't know who made this quote. If you know, please put it down in the comment section. Um, you'll never fully understand what's going on. You might not know the amount of progress that you've made, but you've made some progress. Don't worry about it. The second one is by Where's Molly on Pinterest. And just like the moon, you shall go through phases of light, of dark, of everything in between. And though you may not always appear with the same brightness, you are always, always whole. So that's it for today's episode. I really hope that you were reminded about healing. It takes time, it takes patience, it's painful, it's awkward, but you're going through it. So I shall see you on Friday. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all the nitty gritty stuff, and I shall see you soon.